This is Roger Simon.
And Lionel Chetwynd.
Welcome back to Pollywood. Today we're going to discuss a movie that, or a 8-part miniseries, excuse me, that you may or may not see called The Kennedys, produced by Joel Surnow of 24 fame for the History Channel. But upon delivery of this film, evidently the History Channel has turned it down.
This is a very
common occurrence, by the way.
Right. Not after $25 million and this huge investment, why would that happen? But boy, when it comes to shutting people up where they don't want to hear, you get their definition of what is divisive. To them, this is divisive. It told apparently truths about the Kennedys which cannot be elevated to truth by liberals. And that's why it was suppressed. It was suppressed. Apparently, the History Channel was prepared to put it on. They called ABC about cross-promotion, as they do. And ABC said, well, hang on now. And from what we can make out, they're doing the same thing they did with Cyrus Destraway's Path to 9/11. And nobody said, and it's just, it's done. It's done.
Well, the story isn't entirely written yet. Surnow is out there trying to get this movie on TV in various venues, and he's keeping his mouth shut as well he should while he's going through this process. We invited him on the show, and he doesn't want to come yet to something like that. And he shouldn't. Yeah. He should keep his mouth shut until the story is written. But if it never is shown, then a different story is being written, a real story of censorship in a very big way. Now, I haven't seen this movie. And I haven't even read the script. No. Ted Sorensen on a new website called Stop the Kennedy Smear claims to have read the script, although he's a man of no film expertise that I know of. So for him, what the difference between an early draft of a screenplay and a finished movie, which we know can be yards, he doesn't have it. His job is to hold the myth alive.
Yeah, yes, and I don't think that what he's doing, okay, is saying, look, I know this film, and that's my opinion. He's saying, you don't have to think about it. I know enough about this film to tell you don't.
And you don't have to see it.
It may be, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's exactly what he says. Would he mind if I watched it for myself? Would he mind if I made my own decision?
Well, I've heard a lot of your
opinions. Not when it comes to the Kennedys. Okay. But not when it comes to the Kennedys. The boomers have made the Kennedys their own. You know, he was very conservative, would have hated him. He himself was a Cold War warrior, a tax cutter, but the boomers embraced him. And you're not allowed. I mean, it's extraordinary.
What's kind of interesting is that I remember very well that in the beginning of the leftward movement, what became a very leftward movement in our country, Jack was under attack by a lot of people on the left.
Yeah.
And everything got changed and almost in a manner of thought control as the emergence of Bobby as a hero of the left, and then yet bigger hero of the left, Teddy Kennedy, despite his absolutely despicable past. They became masters of thought control and public control, which I think is beyond anything the British Royals ever pulled off. Oh, no. I mean, way beyond.
And it began, you know, I remember watching the funeral, and I remember seeing little John saluting. I mean, you know, my heart broke for this kid. I always thought that was spontaneous. I subsequently learned, and we've all learned, that actually Jackie had him up all night training him and was saying, now, kid. And that in a way is a metaphor for everything about the Kennedys. Anytime you try to pull that curtain back, they emerge. And why is ABC and Disney listening to them? Why don't they just say, well, like, we're really sorry, and we'll give you, as they gave me as they say, we'll let you have a 10-minute conversation afterwards to put it right. They won't do that, because they are so invested. One
of the interesting mythologies involved in the whole thing, of course, is there have been a lot of reports of the serial adultery of almost all the Kennedys. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's legendary. On the other hand, evidently this is much part of Cernow's film. If you put it out there in a public way, even though despite the fact everybody already knows about it, you shouldn't say this, because after all, it besmirches the image, although the image is a completely false one. It's this reminds me of tremendous sort of thought control, because it disallows everything. You know, everything is supposed to be wink, wink. You're not supposed to say what these people were really like.
This is a deformed cousin of prior restraint, a deformed sibling of prior restraint. We're not going to be allowed to see the film because of... Now, there is some talk about apparently Caroline Kennedy has a book deal, and they're worried they wouldn't get money out of the book deal, so they're going to swallow $25 million worth of investment in order
for a book deal. As an author of both books and movies, my reaction to that is, for sure.
For sure. The left can only take so much.
Yeah.
in the way of, there's artillery on the left, right? They are being hit. They're being hit from left, right, and center. The Tea Party's a part of it. I mean, this is part of a much bigger tapestry. This is not about the suppression of one 8-hour miniseries.
Oh, of course not. And boy, do they have a thin skin, considering a movie was put out and even lauded by some about Bush being assassinated.
Yes.
So,
but look, if they give up Kennedy, that's like a keystone. It's a cornerstone of the whole mythology of the rise of the boomers, the hip guy. Right. People forget that, I remember the lights on in your bedroom at night in the White House, Mr. President, what are you reading? He said Ian Fleming. I mean, when you really look at him, he's just not that hero. It's so interesting. I don't think Joel Surnow being Joel Surnow, I haven't seen the film, but I'd be surprised if he did an Oliver Stone job. He doesn't do that. He's much more intelligent than Oliver Stone. He's a better filmmaker than Oliver Stone. And I think he has a greater sense of the responsibility as a historian. Joel Surnow is a very intelligent man. Now, why is it that if he's doing anything, I'd like to see the film and say, well, they're humanizing someone, or is it like Oliver Stone who's trashing it? And we're not going to have that option. Maybe pay-per-view.
We may, yes, because as we're doing this show, the latest we've heard about it is that DirecTV is showing some kind of interest. We don't know. If it is, we'll definitely see it, and we'll report back to the audience on our view. Listen, let's hope he does better. Anyway, this is Roger Simon.
And Lionel Chetwynd.
Next week in Bollywood.
A peeved Lionel Chetwynd.
A peeved.